What's up guys, today's video is on the top 5 best ice cream makers. Through extensive research and testing, I've put together a list of options that will meet the needs of different types of buyers. So whether it's price, performance, or its particular use, we've got you covered. For more information on the products, I've included links in the description box down below, which are updated for the best prices. Like the video, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Now let's get started. Starting at number 5, we have the Ninja Creami Deluxe XL Ice Cream Maker. We found the Ninja to be a high-quality, multifunctional device with a sleek, modern aesthetic. It's about the same size as a countertop coffee maker, and it was easy to use thanks to the user-friendly buttons and countdown screen. It even helped us troubleshoot, with lights that indicated when the bowl base wasn't in place correctly. There are 10 settings designed for different desserts, as well as respin and mix-in buttons to help fine-tune frozen creations. And even better, it can also be used to make other frozen concoctions, like Italian ice and frozen drinks. It took about 5 minutes to blend the ice cream, plus 4 to 5 minutes of adding in the mix-ins. After blending, the fat was fully incorporated, which gave our ice cream a firm, glossy consistency without any ice grit or separation. The mix-ins stayed firm, though they did get broken up a bit, and didn't impact the color or texture of the base. Because it runs on a timer, it doesn't need to be continuously monitored to make sure it's finished. Ultimately, the ice cream was both dense and creamy, with perfectly suspended mix-ins and fluffy texture, scoopability, and color. It performed equally well when we made sorbet, taking about 5.5 minutes to make a firm sorbet with consistent smooth texture. The mixing process was very clean, and most of the removable parts are dishwasher safe, though we found them easy enough to wash by hand. We also appreciated that the buttons of the control panel didn't have any crevices that could potentially collect melted ice cream. Moving on, at number 4, we have the Breville the Smart Scoop Ice Cream Maker. A compressor model is the closest you can get to professionally made ice cream at home, but it won't come cheap. However, the intuitive design of this top ice cream maker will basically do everything for you. Users can choose the firmness level, which will set the matching timer automatically, as well as whether they've frozen the bowl beforehand or pre-cooling, and the display shows the firmness, degrees as it spins, and the total time. It also will keep cool automatically for 15 minutes, all done with the turn of a dial or push of a button. During our testing, it took 44 minutes to completely churn the ice cream with mix-ins, and the final consistency was a soft serve texture, but it was dense enough that it held its shape on the spatula when being transferred to containers. There was a small amount of grittiness from ice in the final product, but it was still one of the best tasting ice creams during our testing. After adding the mix-ins to the ice cream, the texture was still the same, and it only took about 2 minutes for the ingredients to mix together. When we made sorbet using the sorbet setting, it took 54 minutes, though we felt it could have used a slightly shorter spin. It came out a little on the dense side and felt a bit overspun, with a lot of gritty ice crystals. However, the flavor was noticeable and not muted, unlike some other sorbets we tested. We think if the spin time was shortened by about 5 minutes, it would produce a perfect sorbet. At number 3, we have the Cuisinart Frozen Yogurt, Ice Cream, and Sorbet Maker. If you have limited counter space in your kitchen, this small appliance is the best ice cream maker for you. At just 9.5 inches long and 9 inches tall, it will make flavorful ice cream without taking up too much space. Most of the design features were very simple and easy to use, with intuitive inclusions like an ingredient spout for adding mix-ins and an easy lock lid. We also loved that the manual was very clear and made the process easy to follow. It took about 20 minutes to churn ice cream with mix-ins, and the result was an easy-to-scoop ice cream that held its shape well, with mix-ins incorporated well into the base. During the process, it was quiet enough not to disturb anyone trying to work on other tasks nearby. After sitting overnight, it still tasted smooth, without any wateriness or iciness, and was still firm to scoop with an ice cream scoop. It also aced our sorbet test, easily making a smooth, luscious sorbet with vibrant flavor in 20 minutes. The process also ran cleanly, with any risk of overflow contained by the locking lid. However, once we were done, there was some minor mess while trying to remove the mixing paddle. Ice cream got stuck in some of the grooves of the paddle, and when we removed the bowl, some ice cream overflowed onto the sides as well. At number 2, we have the Donvier 837450 manual ice cream maker. If you'd like to get the whole family in on the churning action, you may want a manual ice cream maker. While this petite round ice cream maker was challenging to set up, it should provide a good time for all once it's ready to use. It has a few main parts: the frozen canister that sits inside the base, a plastic seal ring that goes over the lip of the canister, a clear dome lid, and a crank and churning blade. Getting the plastic seal to lock in between the canister and base was awkward and frustrating. To make ice cream, users simply turn the crank about 3 or 4 times every 2 to 3 minutes until it reaches the desired consistency. We found it to be an easy process, though it became somewhat tedious to pay attention to. But the churning action itself was easy and didn't require a lot of strength or effort. It ultimately took us 57 minutes to get the ice cream to our desired level, which held its shape but was still on the softer side, and the mix-ins incorporated very well. After 2 hours, it was more firm and creamy, but also on the denser side and fairly icy. In our sorbet test, it required a lot of babysitting. While during the ice cream test, it only needed to be turned every 2 to 3 minutes, we had to turn it about once per minute since the sorbet froze so much faster. If we didn't keep churning, the blade would freeze to the sides. Overall, it took about 26 minutes to fully churn the sorbet, which is a lot of time to pay that much attention to the machine. It produced a fluffy sorbet thanks to all the churning, which was easy to scoop and held its shape, ultimately turning out to be one of the best textured sorbets in our tests. And finally at number 1, we have the KitchenAid ice cream maker. If you already have a KitchenAid mixer and want to add even more uses to the machine, step it up with this sleek ice cream attachment. The purchase included a 2-quart bowl, a palette, and the mixer attachment, all of which felt sturdy and durable. To use, attach the bowl to the mixer, add the drive assembly, bring the bowl up, and attach the palette. After about 30 minutes, we ended up with ice cream similar to milkshake consistency. We added the mix-ins at 13 minutes per the manufacturer's instructions, and it seemed like this was too early. This method resulted in pulverized mix-ins. After the ice cream sat in the freezer overnight, we found that the ice cream went from being very liquidy to fairly icy, and we found it tasted icy as well. However, we found that the sorbet turned out much better than our ice cream. It took about 35 minutes to make the sorbet, and we initially worried when it started to liquefy when we poured it into pint containers. However, it regained its shape and texture after sitting in the freezer for 2 hours, and it tasted smooth and delicious. Thanks for watching, and that's all for now. I hope to see you guys in the next video. Till next time.